Welcome to Coffee, Coffee, Coffee. This is episode 2 of Grind It Out with a small coffee review of Buddy Brew's Ethiopia Sidama.
Sidama.
I don't know how to pronounce anything. And if you've watched the show in any length, you know that.
Right.
So Buddy Brew is in Tampa, Florida.
We're Floridians.
However, we did not get this coffee from a Buddy Brew. We got it from like an overstock thrift store where they find coffees and they sell them for cheap.
Right.
So we only paid like $3.75 for this $16 bag of coffee, which is fantastic for us. Maybe not so much for you, because we really enjoy this coffee, and if you want to get it, you'll have to pay $16.
Right. But maybe not everybody is as frugal as we are, because we do seek out coffee in
thrift stores.
Well, we've done that before, though. We've looked at places like Home Goods and TJ Maxx, right?
Yeah.
You can find interesting coffees if you just look around.
Yeah.
So,
and they're not always like out of date.
You're right.
Sometimes you'll find them when they're past the freshest date. But this
have we found a different? We've not found a
No.
difference. Like between if it says it's past its date, to me it still tastes really good. So
yeah. So this particular coffee, they say what they taste, which we found interesting, is on the front of their bag. It says what we taste. So that way, people can't say it doesn't taste like lemongrass. You're like, it's what we taste, not what you taste. Which is kind of like how all of our reviews were.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what we taste. We don't care what you taste. This is what we taste.
Right.
So anyway, they say lemongrass,
fruit punch,
and brown sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't really get that. But we have just found that it's a
a really good cup of coffee.
Easy to drink, delicious.
And I remember I don't think we did a review of the other Buddy Brew, right? We didn't do that, but we had another bag at some point, I think from the store that we found it at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we really like that bag too. I can't remember the roast, but I think that this shows us if we're ever in Tampa.
Yeah, we're going to go to a Buddy Brew.
Buddy Brew.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so on to the main portion of this program, the Grind It Out portion. If you're not familiar with Grind It Out, what Grind It Out is, people write in with their problems that are not time sensitive. And they explain a situation that they're going through, and they ask us how we might handle it.
Right. Based on our 17 years of marriage.
Right. And not necessarily how we think they should handle it, because we don't know them. But it's just what we might do.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah. So today's question comes from Holly, the K-Cup hater. She writes, and I'm going to read from this paper where I wrote it down. I got a Keurig for Christmas from my husband, and I can't get it to make good coffee. How do I trash it without breaking his heart? Sincerely, Holly the K-Cup hater.
Oh, Holly, my heart goes out to you, because it's kind of a thing in our marriage that he tries really hard to buy me gifts that would be good, that I would love.
I try hard and I fail hard.
He tries so hard. And so what I'm thinking, I see there's a couple of things we don't know. Did she ask for the K-Cup or the Keurig? Did you ask for it? Did he buy it? Or was it one of those things, you love coffee, maybe you love it in a French press, and he was like, hey, I'll make it a lot easier. I'll get you a Keurig, and then you don't like the coffee from it. Right,
because that changes everything.
It kind of does.
It makes it easier, actually. If you asked for the Keurig, and then it didn't make coffee the way you wanted, you can just say, oh, I really appreciate that you bought this for me, but I messed up.
Yeah.
I should have looked further. I made a mistake in determining that a Keurig was the right choice for me. I am to blame. This is Holly talking, not me. I'm used to saying this. It's my fault. I shouldn't have gotten you the utility knife that had the flashlight on it when you said you wanted a Swiss Army knife. I shouldn't have done that.
Well, you got to add, I specifically stated, please do not give me a utility knife. I want a Swiss Army knife.
Sometimes things appear to be more useful. And a husband tries to say, I heard her. and I want to do something even better.
Better. That is a thing that men do. You said this, I will improve upon it.
Right.
And taking it with that spirit. I think like if it's one of those things, Holly, where you ask specifically and maybe you even said, don't get me a Keurig, I just want maybe a French press or something. And he just didn't hear that. To me, honesty is the best policy. Mm-hmm. That is a quicker way, I think, to break somebody's heart is to lie to them and be like, oh, thank you so much for the Keurig. And then deep down you hate it. Mm-hmm. Because eventually that's going to come back to bite you. Eventually you're going to complain to your friend or somebody about the Keurig. It will get back to him and he's going to be like heartbroken. Like, I can't believe, right? Don't you find that in the past, even though initially it's upsetting if I have to say to you, I know you tried and this is just, this is not the best gift or it's not really me. Mm-hmm. So, like being honest, so hard to be honest about those types of things because you don't want to break their heart. Right. But I think the whole thing about heartbreak is you're going to kind of break their heart no matter what. Like if you're honest, it's going to kind of break their heart. If you're not honest, it's really going to break their heart. So you kind of have to choose the lesser of the heartbreak. Right. I think.
And the one that actually cuts it clean. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Because let's look at this scenario, Holly. Maybe you allowed your Keurig to get dirty on the inside, which is what we've heard a lot of Keurigs get, is they just kind of get so gross on the inside, and then people get rid of them because they can't clean them or anything like that. Let's say you took that route and you just let it get really dirty and you were like, oh, honey, it doesn't come clean. I can't get it to, it's too bad. And then he shows up the next day with a new one. So you've got the same problem over again. So the best course of action is just straight up honesty. Not like, you always buy bad gifts. Why would you give me a Keurig?
Right. Yeah, don't do that.
I wanted a French press. What were you thinking? Yeah. You're always doing... And speaking in that way, it's like always... in what is that called?
Which one?
When you're speaking in...
absolutes.
Absolutes. Mm-hmm. Like, you always buy me terrible gifts.
Right.
Why would I expect the Keurig to be any different?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So, and hopefully your name's not really Holly. And hopefully your husband doesn't watch this. Yeah. But before you tell him, how to get past it. Right. But honesty, so in a way where you might just sit down.
Yeah, and always being thankful, like with a grateful heart, just be like, it was so sweet of you to buy this. And I'm sure that you had the best of intentions. And really, I was excited to get it. But it's just not, making good coffee. So if, I just think we could, get rid of this and then, try this other type. Maybe maybe you already have something that you prefer, like maybe just a regular coffee maker or French press or, who knows. There's so many different ways to make coffee.
Right. Yeah. You can just talk about how the Keurig was totally different than what you might have expected. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And another route you could take is stop drinking coffee altogether, but then that's tantamount to ending your life. You don't want to do that either.
No.
So, but honesty and gratitude,
right,
and
that's
compassion,
right.
Like try to flip the situation,
right?
And maybe it has happened. Maybe you've purchased something for him that he either doesn't use or.
That's a really good point. Go back to that. And even if you haven't, imagine you got him a gift. How would you want to be treated in that situation? Obviously, you would want to know.
Right. You would want him to keep using it just because.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants that. I think as much as we all hate to bring up uncomfortable situations like that, like, oh, I don't really like this. It's an honest thing to say, like, I don't really enjoy this. But it is the right thing to do because that is how you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
So.
And you wouldn't want to do what Kayla did. And just start wearing a Fitbit so that way she wouldn't have to wear the antique watch that I got.
Okay, the antique
That's not
watch.
What happened either.
That is not what happened. He got me an antique watch. It was not my style. And I just
don't know if it was anybody's style.
Maybe back in the 20s.
Yeah.
Old women like to wear that style, but I was not.
But this was like 15 years
First year
ago.
of marriage,
yeah,
right?
16 maybe,
Yeah.
But so there you go. I think honesty. Coming at it from where, his point of view, your point of his point of view.
Right.
Flippy floppy.
Now, does he drink coffee? Maybe he likes the Keurig though. We
That's
don't
true.
know that. And you could just say, you can keep it, you like it that way. I just don't.
Yes, but do not continue on in the lie.
No. Yeah.
If you're continuing to drink coffee from the Keurig, that's a lie.
I thought actually you were going to, that's the point you were going to make with the, it gets dirty inside. I thought he was going to make this like metaphor for that's, you know, what it's like if you keep dishonesty in your relationship. It's like the Keurig that you can't clean.
Oh.
That's
too deep.
Right.
I'm up here.
This
at
is
the
just
top
trying
of the
it out.
water.
This is not a deep show.
The shallow portion. And so all of that being said, which is something we would normally say at the beginning of something like this,
Mm-hmm.
we're not therapists.
No.
Or anything like that.
We've just been married for a while.
And we know that you submitted this question about a month ago. So hopefully things have resolved before this, but somebody else might be going through the exact same thing that you're going through.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And but if you haven't addressed it yet, we hope that you can take some of this advice and incorporate it seamlessly into a resolution for all.
Yeah. And if anyone else out there has a question, a situation that you're like, I don't know how to handle this, write in.
There's a link in the description to a
Mm-hmm.
Google form where you can answer the questions.
Well, oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, submit your own question.
I meant answer the questions on the Google form.
Right. Because there are. It's a very long form. It takes hours.
Hours. There's 2 questions.
There's 2 questions.
What's the problem? Who are you? Actually, we don't even want to know who you are.
Mm-mm.
But we do like code names, like
Yeah.
Holly the K-Cup Hater.
We love that name.
All right.
That's great.
Thank you all again for joining us. Try some Buddy Brew if you get the opportunity. So long.